Okay, I think we found a contender for one of the dumbest Las Vegas tourists ever, because this Canadian traveler, he just tried to live out his own version of the Hangover movie, except instead of coming home from Vegas with a whole bunch of funny memories or a bad tattoo, no, he ended up being charged for animal abuse.
A Canadian tourist facing 4 counts of animal cruelty charges after being accused of torturing a flamingo.
You know that garbage slogan, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? Well, that's definitely not true when it comes to the subject of today's video. 33-year-old Ontario man Mitchell Grant Fairburn, because it looks like, at least for his story, he's the only thing staying in Vegas for the foreseeable future. And while the Las Vegas Strip might be universally known for its drinking and degeneracy, believe it or not, laws actually still apply there. Honestly, at this point, I bet he'd wish that he only pulled out one of his teeth instead. But regardless, how did he end up with no passport, a GPS ankle monitor, and a $12,000 bail? Well, on March 3rd around 5 in the morning, Mitchell drunkenly wandered into the Flamingo enclosure at the Flamingo Resort in Las Vegas and started chasing and attacking the helpless animals. What the why? And the dude is said to have been seen on security footage attempting to tackle the birds and take selfies with them. Again, why? This must have been his hangover moment. But you know, instead of Mike Tyson's pet tiger, it was distressed exotic birds in his hotel lobby. Bro, what are you doing? But the reports say that one flamingo attempted to fly away from him, so he grabbed it by its legs, pulled it down, and then pinned it down so he could take a photo with it. What is going on here? But eventually, that flamingo was lucky enough to be able to swim away. So naturally, Mitchell decided to wade into the water and try to get another one. And honestly, the way this timeline is laid out, it's insane that at no point did he or anyone he was with realize how messed up this was. Because according to news articles, nearly 10 minutes passed in between the 2 flamingo attacks. So again, how does this happen? How didn't staff notice immediately? I have so many questions. I guess it did happen at 5 in the morning, but still. But either way, you would think that over 10 minutes would be enough time to maybe have one single critical thought, like even if you're extremely intoxicated. But obviously, Mitchell is immune to critical thinking because he then chased around multiple other flamingos until he ultimately caught another one named Peachy, and he dragged it out of the enclosure by its neck and then held it by its neck while it struggled to get free. Dude, what do you think about that, Gary? That's unacceptable, isn't it? But he then wrapped Peachy up in his shirt and smuggled the bird up to his hotel room, conveniently documenting the entire shirtless escapade on his own Snapchat, as well as being caught on the hotel's security cameras. There's no way that he did all this for social media. Are you serious? I do wonder if they play Flo Rida right round as they show all of the video evidence of him taking the flamingos from the encapture and smuggling it up to his own hotel room, documenting it all on his iPhone. Like, come on. This is so cruel and ridiculous. What's interesting too is only Mitchell's named in the news reports, but there was at least 2 people there. Only Mitchell was carrying the birds, but there was definitely a friend who was taking these Snapchats. And then you also have another shirtless man in one of them as well. So maybe there was 3 guys. So maybe they weren't named or charged because they didn't help him injure or abduct the bird. But like I said, it's crazy there was multiple people here not seeing any problems with this. But luckily, someone did notice all this going down and started alerting hotel security, who ended up calling the Metro Police for backup.
Metro Police, Bros 18968.
Hi, I need security or Metro over to the Flamingo. There was a person who jumped the habitat. He damaged the flamingos and took one away. We got a phone call and they said that someone was carrying a flamingo down the hall. We went out to the habitat and we were missing one and 2 were seriously injured. In fact, 1 may not make it.
I'm also just sitting here thinking, like, what were you on to think this was a good idea? But when they arrived at the enclosure, they also found out there wasn't only Peachy missing, but there were also 2 other badly injured flamingos left behind. Apparently, one was hurt so severely that at the time, they thought it might not survive. And after they checked the hotel security footage, they obviously saw the half-naked culprit smuggle the poor bird up to his room on the 14th floor. And then if it wasn't obvious who he was because they knew which room he had gone to, he also had his last name tattooed across the back like a jersey.
Fairburn identified by police in these photos by the tattoo across his back that reads Fairburn.
Come on, dude. Well, if that's the case, maybe don't go shirtless to commit a crime. But later that day, police also obtained a search warrant for Mitchell's room. And this is when they found all the horrific evidence from, the self-reporting Snapchat videos on his cell phone to bloody feathers and other debris that clearly came from the bird. And they also recovered the gray shirt that Mitchell used to wrap the bird in. And honestly, I don't know exactly what happened to Peachy in between the initial kidnapping and the search warrant being executed, because it doesn't sound like the bird was found in the room. But they also don't specify if Mitchell tried to release it before he faced the consequences. Not that it really mattered, because again, he has like 45 different angles of him with the bird on his own cell phone. Like, again, what was he thinking? I mean, clearly he wasn't, but still, I mean, bro. But in one of the videos recovered on the phone, Mitchell can apparently be heard laughing and saying, "I'm taking it home," while he's restraining the bird. It's gonna be really hard to explain that one, but luckily, all the birds involved seem to be okay and are expected to make a full recovery, but not without some medical intervention. But Peachy also sustained injuries to one of its wings during the scuffle with Mitchell, who claims he was actually attempting to pop the wing back in and help the bird despite having zero veterinary experience. Dude, that is like one of the worst excuses I've heard in my life.
According to an arrest report, the suspect, Canadian tourist Mitchell Fairbairn, told police that he was walking around the casino intoxicated when he saw a flamingo in the habitat allegedly in distress.
He tells police that he tried to pop its wing back into place before somehow making it all the way up to his hotel room with the bird.
I mean, it's also funny to claim that you were helping when the only reason the bird needed help in the first place was because of your dumbass. So, I don't know how well that defense is gonna hold up. But I just found out that flamingos actually have veins in their feathers that supply blood until they're done growing. So while trying to, I guess, pop the wing back in, he actually ended up rupturing the blood supply, causing the bird to require multiple stitches to recover movement. Mitchell did admit to being heavily intoxicated when he entered the habitat, but also acknowledged seeing warning signs prohibiting guests from entering the area or touching birds. So, I mean, this guy is doing no good for his own case here. And he also apparently had to scale a fence that usually is an indication that, you're not allowed to be somewhere. But even though Mitchell admitted to it all and said there was no excuse for his actions, the Flamingo Hotel put out a statement saying the safety and well-being of our iconic flock are the utmost importance to us, and we will be pursuing charges against this individual to the fullest extent possible. And I mean, hey, they weren't lying, because after he was arrested, he was charged with 4 counts, including malicious torture and maiming an animal. And at a probable cause hearing, Las Vegas court judge Susan Baucom set a bail of $12,000 on Fairbairn and ordered him to surrender his passport and to not have any animals in his possession and wear a GPS tracker. So, I mean, it looks like he's gonna have to extend his vacation just a little bit longer. But even though he was due in court on March 9th, Mitchell failed to make an appearance. What else was he doing? Like, it's not like he would have any plans after all of his friends would most likely return to Canada. How does this happen? I mean, honestly, how does this entire story happen? So it's not like he has a good track record to begin with, but who knows? Maybe he thinks he has a chance at fighting it and he's trying to prepare himself better. Who knows? But the judge reportedly told Fairbairn's attorneys that he better show up for the next hearing on May 6th, saying if he has a single violation while he's out on bail and electronic monitoring that was set by the judge in initial appearance court, he's going to be remanded without bail in this case, she allegedly cautioned the attorney. And honestly, I don't think he wants to be playing around, since apparently in 2025, Nevada enhanced the penalty for animal cruelty charges.
Bad luck for this suspect, because in 2025, the state of Nevada enhanced the criminal penalties for animal cruelty cases.
So he should have done it, a few months earlier. But unfortunately for him, though, he's an idiot. And he's gonna get hit with a stupid tax, because now the law is gonna hit him harder than ever. Currently, he's facing 4 counts of malicious wounding of an animal, which can each carry up to 4 years in prison max. So the dude is facing 16 years in prison because he couldn't stay out of a flamingo enclosure. Massive skill issue. So now, I guess we just kind of have to wait around until May to find out what's going to happen to Mitchell in this case. That is, unless he decides to do something idiotic and get himself into trouble sooner. But honestly, I wouldn't even put that past him, because, we saw him attack and injure a bird and then skip his first court date. Clearly, we're dealing with a genius here. Also, not to mention, he probably wouldn't have had any remorse if he didn't get caught. So, yeah, I feel like proof of that is, him fully documenting everything on his own Snapchat. Because the dude essentially just wanted to LARP as he was filming a deleted scene for the Hangover movie. But as of right now, that's all we know. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, please stay out of all flamingo enclosures. Peace.